Welcome to the Pandemonium Witches podcast, where the ADHD has just a touch of the tism, where the true crime is just as scary as the hauntings and unsolved cases, and the hosts never stay on topic for long. I'm Kat.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Em. And I'm Meg.
We are the Pandemonium. I love the plant wall. It's beautiful. We've changed our surroundings. I've changed mine only by adding that, which I realized when editing, because I have stability that Josh made me. Josh, my husband, made this. That it's actually right way.
Nice.
So I thought all the text was reversed. So
It looks reversed, but it's not.
yeah, like my sign, live, laugh, lobotomy, I could actually read it.
That's what I was telling you, that you could just put it right side and
Listen,
it just needed somebody else to confirm it.
Well, the frickin' software. Good morning.
Good morning.
We did not record yesterday because I got sick. Rachel was exhausted. We're both exhausted, to be fair. Because
we're exhausted bitches.
We are exhausted bitches. We're coming up on episode 100, and we are trying to get everything done. And that includes, like, we have to prep the posts, and we have to prep the
things,
research, and I'm working on editing, and I got some Louis Vuittons underneath my eyes.
Mine just stay there. Mine are permanent.
I mean, mine were before I moved here, I was working 2 jobs because I was doing the tutoring job, and I was editing, and I was also doing tarot readings, and
all the things.
I think I got maybe 4.
Little tart there.
Aggressive
tartness.
Shaking. Good God. But good morning. Yes.
Good morning.
I'm awake.
You had a good night of sleep.
Oh God. I went to bed around midnight. He was mad about that, but that's also because
accidents happen.
Right. I don't sleep when he's not here. I've gotten quite used to there being a man-sized portion in my bed. So, I have to like tuck his weighted blanket a certain way in order to fall asleep. It's a thing. And then
I mean, at least it's good for something when he's not there.
That weighted blanket, man, it's great.
It takes you out when you make it the bed, but otherwise
I was making the bed the other day and it whacked me in the face like a full 25 pounds, just
whap.
And I had a nice little, you can still kind of see it. It's not contour, guys. This is a bruise because you go bruises easily. But
facts.
Oh God. So my cousin's wedding is fastly approaching on this end.
Yes.
So by the time this airs, she will be married. Give it up for her on that. We love Matt. I can't wait for him to be my technically brother, because I think of her more as a sister than a cousin. What else is new? We have the same number of subscribers on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, whole 9 yards. But has Trey checked in with you on the episodes? Are you checking?
Not recently.
Okay.
I'll let you know as soon as he does.
Okay.
But yeah, not recently.
Okay. Meanwhile, we're going to be taking November, December, January, and February, first few days of February off. So we'll be
correct.
Technically.
So we have a break.
1 month.
Catch up on all the sleep.
1 month was not enough last year. And I realized seasons only have like 50 episodes, maybe?
We learn something new every day.
Listen, the more you know, shooting star. I am not doing it today. Are you?
Yes, it is my turn.
So are we looking for haunting or is it a murder?
It's a murder. It's most definitely a schmurder. This is episode 99.
Before we get into the schmurder, have you set up your hydration station? She has blue, I have pink. We match. Have you taken your meds?
Yes.
I've taken mine. We're going to give our party possums a second to go run around the house and find theirs. I'm really excited for next year because Alex and the Nowhere Kids are going to be making our intro, outro, and elevator music, as it were. And I was like, just have fun with it.
I can't wait.
He's like, okay, so Creepy Cowboy, got it. And I was like, I mean, kind of, but this was the original, and we loved it because we went through, I want to say, like 20 sounds when we were rebranding, and that was the one that we
like that
liked. And then when we moved to YouTube, we had to get a new audio because that one was copywritten, and I had to go through all of the back episodes.
Stupid copyrights.
It was so funny because Rachel called me and it was like 9 o'clock at night. Josh was working overnight, and because my husband's military, so you know,
if you didn't know, you do now.
Yeah. And so overnight is start at 6, end at 6 the next day. At 9 o'clock at night, she calls me and she goes, "Hey, are you getting ready for bed?" And I was like, "No, what time is it?" And I was like, "Jesus Christ." And
take your fucking meds. Go to bed.
And I didn't go to bed that night until, I want to say, almost 1. And then I slept until 11. But I had to read.
All the med times were thrown off.
They were so thrown off. Because I take morning meds at about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And then I take evening meds at about 7:15, 7:30. I have to take it at the same time every day. Otherwise, my body just gets thrown out of whack. And the next day he woke up with me and he's like, "You're still in bed?" And I was like, "I did an oopsie." And he's like, "What'd you do?" And I was like, "Rachel already berated me for it. You don't need to get mad at me." He got mad at me, but that was my own doing. So I redid all those episodes, I want to say, in 5 days.
Yeah, because we had to go back and scrub so much of them.
And a lot of the earlier episodes 1 through 10, were on the laptop, and the laptop took a shit, just died. It's already past 7 minutes, so I can swear all I want. We had to buy a desktop. I want to say
a desktop.
My tongue is swollen.
Just sleep here with your mouth open again.
Well, always. That's besides the point. Something that I ate yesterday was handled with latex gloves. So now I know.
No, sorry. I thought there was deer outside in the yard. No, it's an orange tarp covering something.
Oh, dear.
I mean, they do like to congregate back there and eat the grass, so it wouldn't be surprising. I was like, I saw something brown out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, what the fuck's that? It's a tarp, not a deer.
You got excited for like all of a split second.
I did.
That's okay. That's fair. So we've given them enough time to take their meds, get their hydration station set up. Michaela is getting her cleaning supplies and getting ready for the day, which we know. We love and support that.
And set up the little one so that way she can also listen.
She knows our voices.
I love that.
Really excited. Hold on. Did I send you the photo?
Yes, you sent me photos.
The most recent one where she's just like, we're putting it on. She hears the theme song and gets excited.
I think so, yeah.
Well, she did have some comments on the most recent video that we posted on the 5th of September. The FBI comment girl and bombastic side-eye, criminally offensive side-eye. Sorry you can't solve crimes better than the community. Maybe hire some of them. Just a thought. But no, they're butthurt about it. I was like, yeah. She's like, I hated the topic, but I liked the moment for the victims at the end. So I made that video because I wanted something that was just, had nothing to do with a lot of the victims, just a moment of silence. So we already say their names throughout the episode. It hurts my heart to do them again with their dates of birth and everything. So I'll put timelines and everything or their information on the slides on our Facebook page. But she's talking about my boo box, which when I get it in the mail, I'm supposed to open it on cameras. We'll see.
Well, yeah, because I want to see what happens too.
So she says, "Here's baby. snacks with her favorite podcast. I think she remembers your voice. And then
That's so much.
she was laughing with your voice. So
I mean, all I have is nephews, so I will gladly take adoptive nieces.
absolutely. And of course, when and if we have babies, I'm going to be
Obviously.
right. So, of course, trigger warning before we even get started, because if you're doing a schmurder. This is a Pandemonium Witches podcast trigger warning. The following episode contains graphic violence and gruesome depictions. Listener discretion is advised. All right, what do we got today?
Okay, so it's another angel of death.
Mother fine.
So, TLDR, she was born as Janine Jones on July 13th, 1950, and is responsible for the deaths of up to 60 infants and children under her care as a licensed vocational nurse during the 70s and 80s.
Whoa, hold on. So we need to do a trigger warning that it involves children.
Yes.
Okay, so it involves children, infants.
Just those.
Okay, all right. I don't like it, but continue.
So in 1984, she was convicted of murder and injury to one child. She used injections of digoxin, D-I.
Digoxin.
The G's are always tricky.
Yeah.
Heparin, and then later used cyclocholine. I'm going to send that one. Succin.
Succinylcholine.
Okay, thanks. To induce medical crises in the patients, which of course led to multiple deaths. The exact number of the patients or of the victims remains unknown, as hospital officials allegedly misplaced and then destroyed records of her activities.
Wait a minute. Okay. It was misplaced? No.
I went, sound familiar at all? So because of
The what's her face? The one that Emily was obsessed with and your sister covered.
Lucy Letby?
That one.
So because of this, it prevented further litigation after her first conviction. All right, let's start from the beginning.
Of course. Ooh, let me get my book. Hold on, because I got to figure out what sign she is. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure she's a Leo because it's July 13th. I said, pretty sure she's a Leo because she's July 13th. Because she's not a Gemini, because Gemini ends June 1st or 2nd. And then I think it starts Leo.
It's a Leo. Egotistical, megalomaniac, uncaring, bossy, courteous, charitable, optimistic, proud, goal-oriented, and dedicated.
Well, she was definitely a few of those things, but not all of them. So, Genene was adopted immediately after being born. I couldn't find any information about her birth parents. So, Dick and Gladys Jones adopted her, and they also had 3 previously adopted children, 2 that were older and 1 that was younger than Genene. So the family lived in a 2-story, 4-bed house outside of San Antonio, Texas. Dick was an entrepreneur and a professional gambler. He worked in the entertainment business, operating nightclubs, and he was a free-spending and generous, but this lifestyle started to take a toll on the family, of course, because he was always gone at night. So the nightclubs started to fail, and there was less money to spend, and so he tried to start up a restaurant business. But that too ended up failing. So this was all before Genene was 10. So when she was about 10, Dick was then arrested. Apparently there was a large safe that went missing from some guy's house that had been at Dick's club at the time of his home being robbed. There was about $1,500 in cash and valuable jewelry inside of the safe. A priest ended up turning it over to the police while protecting the person who had given it to him, but the cops ended up going after Dick anyways.
I mean, he did it.
So Dick confessed, but claimed the whole thing was just a joke. And I went, jokes are only funny when the person on the receiving end of it finds it funny. So the charges were dropped, and after that, Dick decided to open a billboard business. According to Carol Ann Davis from Whom Men Who Kill, for Janine, riding around in the truck with Dick while he put up his billboards was the happiest time of her life. She often felt left out and unfavored by her parents and went around calling herself the black sheep of the family.
That's just giving the rest of us black sheep a really bad name.
Right. She would sometimes pretend to be sick just to get people to pay attention to her. And at school, she would become bossy.
No, that's like Munchausen, right?
I think so.
Because we know for Gypsy, which it's been requested, everybody's covered her. I don't want to cover her. She's getting too much attention for something that she shouldn't be. That was Munchausen by proxy. So wouldn't it, if you're doing it for yourself, wouldn't that just be Munchausen?
I think so. She was described as short and overweight, which only added to her loneliness. Acquaintances called her aggressive, while friends said she had betrayed them, and she was also known for lying and manipulating people.
Hate it. Thanks.
She was close to her younger brother, Travis, who loved to spend time in their father's shop. However, at the age of 14, he died from a pipe bomb that he had put together, which blew up in his face.
No.
Genene was about 16 at this time, and during his funeral, she screamed and then fainted. She had lost her closest companion, and some people think that this trauma led to her peculiar cruelty.
There is nothing peculiar about her cruelty. It's just cruelty. She's just the whole thing about cruel and unusual punishment. Dun, dun, that's her.
Others think she was just histrionic and just grabbed any chance for attention. And I looked this up for those.
Histrionic.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Anyways, so for those that don't know, it refers to overly dramatic, exaggerated, and theatrical behaviors or displays of emotion, often for attention or to influence others. I had to look that up because I was like, what the fuck is that word?
It's used in our favorite, Twilight. It's used in Twilight. And whoa, that just went out of focus and went back in. What else is it used in? It's in Pride and Prejudice. Austenland, if you haven't seen Austenland, that word is used a lot of times in the old Victorian ones because they called women histrionic.
Or hysterical, same thing.
Yeah, they kind of lump the two together.
So, senior year of high school, her father became sick. He was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and he refused treatments and then went home to die.
I mean, I get that. Like, since I'm not using my keyboard, I just have to push it out of the way. Because you're doing today's story.
I am.
I get wanting to go home and die. That's what we did for Abuela, and Abuela wanted to go at the end, but we couldn't get him off of the oxygen. So he had to stay in the hospital. But yeah, I get it.
So he lived through Christmas of 1967, but then died shortly after that at the age of 56, just over a year after Travis's death. So 2 deaths, literally back to back, essentially. Janine was devastated, and despite not yet graduating high school, she believed that the remedy for her pain and for the loss was to get married right away. Like, ma'am, that doesn't solve shit. That's just avoiding things. Are you typing on other things?
Maybe.
I'm laughing because I see you lean over to the side.
I'm trying to do Monopoly cards. And plus this, hold on. I just used my thumb to do it. No, that's too far. You've gone too far. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're good. I had a giant smudge on there. And I think that was from when I was trying to corral the puppy.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Back.
so she thought that, marriage would solve everything. That's like saying a baby will solve issues in a marriage. No, it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
It
And
just creates more issues.
I tried to explain that to a woman the other day. She and her husband are I'm very, very happy for them. They are not a good friend of mine. I just know them. And she had said, we want a baby because we're having so many issues in our marriage. This is somebody from California. So
if you're having that many issues, go to therapy.
Go to therapy. And I was like, listen, I love and appreciate you. However, how you're going about this is the wrong fucking way. What you need to do is you guys need to go to therapy and not bring a baby into the mix. And so they unfortunately ended up losing the baby. And I'm very sorry for them. Been there, done that, got the trauma. And it was one of those things where her husband was like, yeah, we need to go to therapy. And I was like, good. Here are some therapists I know in the area because they're in the Silicon Valley. And he's going, she's not. And he's like, listen, if you're not going to go to therapy, there's no need for us to continue this relationship. And I was like, good. Boundaries, have them. That's good. It's beneficial for them. But that kind of shit pisses me off. I'm sorry. I will go on a tirade for the rest of the show. Continue.
I know. So obviously, Genene and Gladys fought about it because her mother's like, no, you're being dumb. And Gladys ended up, because of everything, she ended up becoming an alcoholic to the point where she would be drunk frequently, but she still refused to give permission for Genene to get pregnant or to get married, as it was too soon after the family tragedies. That was the only reasoning she could get Genene to agree with.
Nope.
So once Genene graduated, she married a high school dropout, Jimmy Harvey Delaney Jr. And according to Carol Davis, Genene trapped Jimmy into marriage by claiming she was pregnant. Jimmy at this time was overweight and only cared about cars. But 7 months after they got married, Jimmy joined the Navy. And during this point, Genene was reported to have had an insatiable appetite for sex and was immediately unfaithful.
What? Okay, wait. Okay. He joined the Navy. And then she decided to throw her cat around?
Yeah, pretty much.
Doesn't that sound like somebody we know?
Sounds like a lot of people we've come across.
Continue.
She was intense and dramatic, and she sought out other men in a way to fill the void left by Dick's death. Daddy issues. And then she bragged openly about it. She would also have affairs with married men and began to spread rumors that she had been essayed as a child.
What? No.
Yeah. She then became dependent on Gladys for money, so Gladys urged her to start looking for a job because she's like, I ain't got money, so you're gonna have to go find it yourself. So with no real plans, Genene enrolled in beauty school. Soon after, Jimmy returned from the Navy, and they had a baby, because that solves everything. After being married for 4 years, Genene left Jimmy while he was recovering in the hospital from a boating accident.
Stop it.
The divorce papers indicated that he had been violent with her, but they eventually reconciled and then parted for good this time. Yeah, it sounds like he was real violent with her.
I think it was, a lot of people don't discuss this. I posted it on our post 2 weeks ago, end of August.
I think it was more she just wanted the consistency than, and because at that point I think because this was early 70s about early 70s at this point, so you kind of needed a reason for divorce, and so violence was one of the reasons given that women would be granted divorce. So I think that's why she put that. What are you doing?
So I can pay attention, and I don't want to play Tetris because he said I'm using my phone far too much. I happen to agree. I'm doing washi tape on my cookbook pages.
I just realized I was muted. I just said, hold on a second. I'm trying to get a picture of Fluffy. She's sitting on the ottoman.
Oh, that is so cute. Yeah, no, I have 7 recipes I need to transfer. So I'm just making pages so they're done because it's going to be a full page front and back. So might as well, since we're sitting here, do something productive. That way I'm not sitting here, because childhood trauma and all that. Sitting here
This is true.
thinking that I'm not doing anything productive. Does that make sense?
Yes, I just saw like something red going across like the bottom of the screen, and I was just like, what are you doing? I thought you were playing with like a cord or something. Anyways, so not long after this point, her older brother died from cancer. It was another loss in her life and heavily developed her fear of cancer from working with hair dyes, which made her have a career change. So then because she had been working in the hospital beauty salon, I kind of wish they still had those. So it wasn't too far of a leap to begin training as a nurse because she was already surrounded by medical people. She could, ask questions, everything. She was also pregnant at this point, so she would have 2 children to care for. Even though she ended up wanting children her whole life, she ended up deciding to leave them in the care of Gladys. Okay, so now we're starting her trip at the hospitals. So she had a special love for doctors, seeing them as mysterious and powerful. And she just wanted to be near them. And so she trained for a year to become a vocational nurse and an LVN / which I put licensed vocational nurse. Even though she was good at this job, she hated being at the bottom of the medical pyramid. In one of the links I said it was medical totem pole, and I was like, that's not the right use of those words.
No,
So
no, everybody keeps getting it wrong. Okay, can I say this because this is one of the things I deep dived on for Washington?
Of course.
Okay. Totem poles, the low man on the totem pole was actually the most important. The high on the totem pole, the top, is the one who would get shit on by birds and things. So people are like, oh yeah, you're just the low man on the totem pole. That means you're important. You would be the high man on the totem pole because you get shit on. I mean, still being on the low part, you would probably get shit on.
Well, the low part, you also it was easy for them to take care of you and do maintenance and everything on you. So yeah, you'd be more important at the bottom because they're able to do more care for you. Yeah, so that's why I switched to pyramid, because I was like, that makes more sense. So her interest in medicine began to take on a mystical dimensions and became obsessed with diagnosing people, which she wasn't legally supposed to do.
That's not how that works. That's not how any of that works.
Not at all. So flash forward to her being at her first nursing job at San Antonio's Methodist Hospital for 8 months. 8 months. She was fired due to trying to make decisions in areas where she had no authority, and in part because she made rude demands on a patient who subsequently complained.
Here's the consequence.
So, as far as we know, she didn't have any victims there. It was after this she started collecting victims. I use the word collect loosely. No. So it wasn't hard for her to find another job, but she didn't last there long either. Shocker. She was eventually hired in the PICU of Pexer County Medical Center Hospital. It is now known as the University Hospital of San Antonio. PICU, for those that don't know, is the pediatric intensive care unit. So the children's. It was at this location that she would leave her tragic mark. A statistically improbable number of children died in her care. Somewhere between 11 and 46 infants and children were listed in her care that became sick. She used the injections to induce medical crises with the intent of reviving them afterward in order to receive praise and attention. Sound familiar?
Yeah, Lucy Letby.
Lucy Letby 1.0. That's what I put in my notes. These medications are known to cause heart paralysis and other complications when given as an overdose. Many children, however, did not survive the initial attack and could not be revived. The exact number of murders remain unknown, as hospital officials allegedly first misplaced and then destroyed records of her activities to prevent further litigation after her first conviction. After working at Bexar County Hospital in the PICU, it was determined that a statistically inordinate number of children that she worked with were dying, only when she was on shift. And so instead of pursuing further investigation, the hospital just simply asked her to resign. So she did. The first child she picked up there had a fatal intestinal condition, and when he died shortly thereafter, she went berserk. She went crazy. She brought a stool into the cubicle where the body laid and sat staring at it.
Ew.
By 1981, she demanded to be put in charge of the sickest patients. That placed her close to those that died most often. She loved the excitement of an emergency and even seemed to enjoy the grief she experienced when the child didn't make it.
What the fuck?
She always wanted to take the corpse to the morgue. Those in the most critical conditions were all under her care. One child had a seizure 3 days in a row, but only on her shift. "They're going to start thinking I'm the death nurse," she quoted one day, or she said one day. Then a baby named Jose Antonio Flores, who was 6 months old, went into cardiac arrest while in her care. He was revived, but went into arrest again the next day during her shift and died from bleeding. Tests on his body indicated an overdose of a drug called heparin, which is an anticoagulant. Nobody had ordered it, but it was still in his system.
Dun, da, 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 da.
Her next victim, Rolando Santos, who was being treated for pneumonia, started having seizures, had cardiac arrest, and then extensive unexplained bleeding. All of his troubles developed or intensified on her shifts. Finally, one doctor stepped forward and told the hospital staff that she was killing children and that they needed to investigate.
Good.
But the nurses protected her, and since the hospital did not want bad publicity, they accepted whatever the head nurse said. Another child was sent to the pediatrics unit to recover from open heart surgery. At first, he progressed well, but suddenly, on her shift, he became lethargic, and then his condition deteriorated, and then he died. She grabbed a syringe and squirted fluid over the child in the sign of a cross and then repeated it on herself. Finally, a committee was formed to look into this issue. They decided to replace the LVNs with RNs on the unit, thinking that this would solve the issue, and Genene promptly resigned. So in the hospital's mind, oh, this took care of the issue. But all it did was let her know she could get away with medical abuse, and then she moved on to the Caryville clinic. Despite the risk of exposure in such a small place to inject children to the point of seizure, she still didn't stop. And because they felt that the hospital felt that the issue was taken care of, they did no more investigating. They just went, it's fine. We're good. So she took a position at a pediatric clinic in Caryville, Texas, which is roughly 60 miles northwest of San Antonio. This is where she was charged with poisoning 6 children. The doctor of this office discovered 2 puncture marks in a bottle of that S word. Because I'm going to sucks. Whatever you, that word. I was like, because I'm not going to be able to pronounce it again.
Yeah. You're muted.
I realize this now. The doctor found this bottle with 2 puncture marks in it in the drug storage where only she and Janine had access to. It was supposed to be an unopened bottle. They're unopened vial. For those that don't know, this medicine is a powerful short-acting paralytic that causes temporary paralysis of all skeletal muscles, as well as those that control breathing. The drug is used as part of a general anesthetic. This is done to help with tracheal intubation or electroconvulsive therapy. It is administered by injection, either into a vein or into a muscle. Within 1 minute, or when used in a vein, onset of action is generally within 1 minute and lasts for up to 10 minutes. So basically for long enough for them to intubate. So because of this, because it paralyzes basically everything, patient cannot breathe on their own. And in small children, cardiac arrest is the ultimate result of the deoxygenation due to lack of respiration. Contents of the apparently full bottle were later to be anectine, which is one trade name for the chemical, whose volume was 5/6 diluted with saline solution, which means she refilled the bottle to prevent suspicion because it's a clear liquid. She claimed that she was acting in the best interest of the patients as she was trying to justify the need for having a PICU in Caryville. Obviously, she was unsuccessful in her means of achieving such goal. So this is when the one photo of her victims that I was able to find. 14-month-old Chelsea McLean was brought to the hospital for regular immunizations against mumps and measles. It was Janine who gave the child her first injection to result in an immediate seizure.
Immediate death to her.
You missed it. So when they tested the bottle, or the contents of the apparently full bottle that the doctor had found the puncture marks in, it was 5/6 diluted with saline, which meant that she had refilled the bottle to prevent suspicion. Hence the 2 puncture marks. One to draw out the fluid, the other to re-inject it. So 14-month-old Chelsea was brought in for regular immunizations and immediately had a seizure after Janine gave her first injection. While on her way to San Antonio, because they had to call an ambulance for emergency treatment, Chelsea went into cardiac arrest and died. Other children receiving their treatment from Janine while she was at Caryville had attacks of various kinds, though no more were fatal. But by now, the health authorities had become troubled by the deaths at both hospitals, and Janine was dismissed pending a grand jury investigation.
Good.
News reports had begun to talk of as many as 42 baby deaths that were under investigation. The grand jury finally returned with indictments against her, and she was charged with murder following the discovery of that S word, which is a derivative of the drug curate.
Succinylcholine.
Succinylcholine. All right, listen, it's a big word. It's a big word for Elmo.
It's a big word for Elmo.
So they found that drug in Chelsea's body. At Janine's trial during January and February of 1984, on a charge of murdering Chelsea, Janine was found guilty and was sentenced to 99 years. She was subsequently put on trial for a second time, charged with administering an overdose of the blood-thinning drug heparin to another child. This time, she was handed down a concurrent term of 60 years. Although we're unlikely to ever really know what motivated her to kill the babies, there is a general agreement that she took pleasure in creating life and death dramas in which she could play an influential role. So basically indicating a power. But let's back up to 1983.
Okay.
real quick. So in February of 83, a special jury convened in San Antonio, Texas, investigating the suspicious deaths of the 47 children at Bexar County Medical Center Hospital over the past 4 years. A similar probe in neighboring Kerr County was focused upon the hospitalization of 8 infants who developed respiratory problems during treatment at a local clinic. One of those children had also died, and authorities were concerned over allegations that the deaths in both counties were caused by deliberate injections of muscle-relaxing drugs. Genene, who was 32 at this time, was one of 3 former hospital employees subpoenaed by both grand juries. With nurse Deborah Salton-Fuss, Genene had resigned from the medical center in March of 82, moving on to the job at the Kerr County Clinic, which was run by another subpoenaed witness, Dr. Kathleen Holland, who was the doctor that discovered that bottle.
Right.
By the time the grand juries convened, Genene and Dr. Holland had both been named as defendants in a lawsuit filed by the parents of Chelsea, who had been lost en route to the hospital after treatment at Holland's clinic in September of 82. By May of 83, or on May 26th of 83, Genene was indicted on 2 counts of murder in Kerr County, charged with injecting lethal doses of the muscle relaxant and another unknown drug to deliberately cause Chelsea's death. Additional charges of injury were filed in the cases of 6 other children reportedly injected with drugs during their visits to the clinic. Facing a maximum sentence of 99 years in prison, Genene was held in lieu of a
Holy shit.
In early 1982, she had followed Dr. Holland in the move to a private practice, but her performance at the clinic had left much to be desired. In August and September of 82, 7 children suffered mysterious seizures while visiting the office.
Oh, no.
Their cases arousing suspicion at Kerr County's Sip Peterson Hospital, where they were transferred for treatment. She was fired from her job on September 26th after finding a bottle that was reported lost 3 weeks earlier, with its plastic cap missing and the rubber top pocked with needle marks.
No, ma'am.
In retrospect, Dr. Holland's choice of nurses seemed peculiar at the least. Her depositions, filed with the authorities, maintained that hospital administrators had indirectly cautioned her against hiring Genene, describing her as a possible suspect in hospital deaths dating back to October of 81. 3 separate investigations were conducted at the hospital between November of 81 and February of 83, all without cracking the sting of mysterious deaths. On November 21st, Genene was indicted in San Antonio on charges of injuring 4-year-old Rolando Santos by deliberately injecting him with heparin in January of 82. So, took almost a year. He had been undergoing treatment for pneumonia where he suffered spontaneous hemorrhaging, but physicians managed to save his life. Their probe continuing, authorities branded Genene as a suspect in at least 10 infant deaths at Bexar County's pediatric ward. Her murder trial opened in Georgetown, Texas on January 15th, 1984, with prosecutors introducing an ego motive. Like New York's Richard Anglo, she allegedly sought to become a hero or a miracle worker by saving children in life or death situations. Again, Letty 2.0. Or 1.0, technically.
Okay, listen. I like a good murder every now and then, trying to figure out why monsters do what they do. This
You see why it took me multiple days?
Well, yeah, and it's always the kids for us that always not grinds our gears, but like hurts us a little bit more.
Oh yeah, because we love kids. So I mean, yeah, it obviously it's worse for us. So nurses from Bexar County also recalled Genene's plan to promote a pediatric intensive care unit in San Antonio by raising the number of seriously ill children. They're out there, she once told a colleague. All you have to do is find them.
No.
That's not how that works.
That's not how any of this works.
So jurors deliberated for 3 hours before convicting her of murder on February 15th, fixing her penalty at 99 years. And then 8 months later, on October 24th, she was convicted of injuring Rolando Santos in San Antonio and was sentenced to a concurrent 66 years. I think 60 years, 66 years. Suspected in at least 10 other homicides, she was spared further prosecution when the Baxter County Hospital administrators shredded 9,000 pounds of pharmaceutical records in March of 1984, destroying numerous pieces of evidence then under subpoena by the local grand jury.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time, because I think... No, they're working. One more time.
That the hospital administrator shredded 9,000 pounds of pharmaceutical records that was under subpoena.
I heard that right.
By the local grand jury.
9,000 pounds? Somebody's about to get fired.
So in 1985, Janine was originally sentenced to 99 years for killing Chelsea. She was subsequently charged with harming Brandy Benitez on October 27th, Chris Parker and Jimmy Peterson on August 30th, Misty Rachenu on September 3rd, Jacob Evans on September 17th, and all indictments charged that the nurse intentionally and knowingly injected the children by injuring the children by injecting them with some type of drug. Later that year, she was sentenced to a concurrent term of 6 years for nearly killing Rolando Santos with heparin. As of May 2016, she was held at Lane Murray Unit at the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. She had been scheduled for mandatory release in 2018 due to a Texas law meant to prevent prison overcrowding. Just wait. To avoid this, she was indicted on May 25th, 2017 for the murder of 11-year-old Joshua Sawyer. Nico LaHood, Bexar County District Attorney, stated that the additional charges could be filed in the deaths of other children. Due to the mandatory early release law covering her original convictions, she would otherwise have been released upon completion of a third of the original sentence. The new charges were filed to prevent her release. And also Chelsea's family was at every single parole hearing that she had. So in April 2018, a judge in San Antonio denied a request to dismiss 5 new murder indictments against her. On January 16th, 2020, she pleaded guilty to the murder of 11-year-old Joshua Sawyer on December 12th, 1981, as part of a plea bargain in which 4 other charges were dropped. She was sentenced to life in prison. She will not be eligible for parole until she is roughly 87 years old, which would be about 2037. And if Chelsea's family has anything to say about that, they will be at that parole hearing as well and speak against her being paroled, even at 87 years old.
Right. And I mean, the one case that I do want to cover is the one that has been making the headlines, where the guy was complaining that he's getting picked on in jail.
Oh, so sad.
Oh, no.
Tough shit.
And the sister, she goes, I will go to every parole hearing that you ever put up for. I will put on whatever I need to do, because I'm going to treat you exactly how you should be treated, as a monster, and not give you the same amount of respect that you're asking for, because you do not deserve it. And I was like, yes, queen. We love that.
Exactly. So, do you want to hear some popular culture?
There's pop culture? Yes.
Of course.
Unfortunately, yes, because Billy May's here. But wait, there's more.
So, horror writer Stephen King has stated in interviews that the antagonist of his standalone novel, Misery, Annie Wilkes, takes inspiration in part from Genene. Annie is a retired nurse who had a long history of serial murder, including of infants when she was a pediatric nurse, before she holds severely injured, struggling writer Paul Sheldon captive in her cabin.
the book Misery. I loved it because it was so unhinged, and now I hate it. Thank you.
Kathy Bates did such a great job as Annie, though.
Such a great job. And here's the thing. She said it was her favorite at the time before American Horror Story. She said it was her favorite character to play. Reason being, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. So Stephen King let her know in like a private, like, tit-a-tat, be as unhinged as you want. And so
she took that to bat.
Literally. And like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it because, I mean, as a writer, as somebody who I do have fans, and one of them has emailed me and goes, I need the next book. And I'm like, I understand. The book is set for release in September and should be out now. But if any one of those found my address, we'd have a problem because I live in Texas where we believe in the 9mm of the law. You trespass, and trespassers will be shot and survivors will be shot again. I have no qualms with that because I've already been tried to be robbed 3 times. No.
Once you had a bat, once you had cast iron, the third you just went running down the hall, each time a weapon of some sort. And knew that's the day you were born, too.
Listen, like, I give no shits. I give 0 fucks. Because if you're going to break into my house, I'm not going to put on clothes for you. No, sir.
I'm not going to take the 5 seconds it is. Like, I'm only going to take the 5 seconds to find my eyeballs.
Exactly. I'm just going to do whatever is necessary to protect myself and to protect my family. And if that means the last vision you see is 100% uncoordinated walrus flying in your direction, watch out, bitch. I'm coming.
You better hope you get out that door faster than I'm coming at you.
Faster than you can say Quidditch.
So next, a little bit of pop culture. So Genene was portrayed by Susan Rutten in the TV movie Deadly Medicine in 1991, and by Alicia Bartaw in the straight-to-video movie Mass Murder of 2002. She was also featured in a Discovery Channel documentary Lethal Injection, Forensic Files Season 5.
Disney came out with Lethal Injection? Cool!
My brain just saw the D-I and the S and went, Disney! I don't know where that came from. Tired brain. That's exactly where that came from. Forensic Files, Season 5, Episode 10, entitled Nursery Crimes. A Season 1 episode of the British docuseries Nurses Who Kill from 2016, as well as Dark Secrets, an episode of the investigation discovery series Deadly Women.
If you have not seen Deadly Women, watch it. We watch Cold Case Files before we go to bed, but Deadly Women is top tier.
Oh, yes. But yeah, so that's Janine Jones.
Take a moment with our team as we pay tribute to the victims of this ruthless assailant. Please join us in a moment of silence as we honor the victims.
I hated every single minute of it. I had to do the research over multiple days just because It was a lot. I had to sift through a lot of news articles as well. So it was a lot of news articles. A lot of them.
I mean, I have no doubt because that's a lot of children.
Well, and also it happened like late 70s, early 80s. So like everything was getting reported in the news. Of course, Crime Museum, Murderpedia, but ABC News, ASAT, EPR, ProPublica. There was a YouTube article or video about, news article. There was a Reddit forum, of course, CNN, USA Today, and then just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 9 books she wrote about in. I have those notes too, or I have those bibliographies too. It was a lot to sift through. So very much to sift through. But yeah, that's
Thanks, I hated it.
Lucy let me 1.0. Because obviously some nurses took notes, apparently. Unfortunately.
I mean, for stories like this, I definitely have to keep myself busy because if I don't, I'm just going to get sick.
No, I know. I was multitasking while I was researching.
I made 5 pages for
Good job.
for my recipe book, which that is what I want for Christmas is a laminator. So if somebody listening wants to buy me a laminator, it's on my Amazon wish list. Because I want to laminate everything in my cookbook so that way I'm not.
So that way it's just easy wipe off when if something gets on there.
I have to redo 5 of the recipes because I accidentally got water on them.
Sticky fingers.
Yeah, it's okay. But I hated today. Thank you.
I did too. But now it's done and over with and I can go back to arsenics.
So we are keeping a running tally of arsenic because I noticed a good portion of our cases were arsenic based. So we're making
specifically mine.
Yeah. We're making a shirt for Rachel that says, "Why is it always arsenic?" Because it's always arsenic. Let's face facts here.
I mean, it was the easiest poison to get at the time, so I totally get it.
So this is the last episode before our October episode. Are we going to
Yes.
Are we going to tell our listeners what we're going to be doing?
I mean, we could, but then we could also just surprise them.
We can. So would you like to hear the notes?
Yes.
So on the Nanny Doss episode, we talked about it. First, it's not just about murder. Definitely, and hauntings will be prevalent. On the Ketty Schmurders with the Sharp family, not the Ketty family. There's a top 10 list that was published in a magazine in 2024. So 2024, there was a top 10 list that we're going to be covering. There was also a top 5 list that was published in the same magazine. Washington, further expansion on topics we've covered before. And what is our final hint?
Honestly, I don't know.
Because it'll be 4 days before our episode with Meg. So the listeners have quite some time before they can comment.
Right. I can't think of any other hints. You got something?
I do. So on an earlier episode, for those of you who like to deep dive on our episodes and go and find Easter eggs, I know who you are. Kayla.
We plant Easter eggs everywhere. We just don't know it half the time.
I don't. I go back and I try and look and sometimes I find them, sometimes I don't. I went on a 21-day How to Hate Your Parents trip to 2 of these.
Yes, the infamous I Hate My Parents trip.
Oh God, I've talked about it quite a bit. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me just double check, make sure it's the right states. Because I have it on my little notes.
I mean, y'all went through a lot of states, so I mean, it's quite possible that they were there.
I only went to 1, and it is on the top 10. It's number 5 on the list that I went to, but I went there. So it narrows it down. I'm not telling you.
Not by much with how many states you've been to.
I know. So I've actually been to 39 states. 39 states. For different reasons. Driving just to get out of town, just to have a vacation, driving to Texas, driving to Virginia, driving to go see.
You're a wanderer at heart, so.
I used to be. And that was when I was starting to get sober because the longer I stayed where it was comfortable for me, the more I wanted to drink to get drunk. But now I've been sober for 5 years. 4 months, 3 months, and 24 days.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
And a partridge in a pear tree. I've been to all of these places, but 2.
Well, we needed to cross those 2 off the list too.
We do. But I'm not telling you if it's a state, a house, a place, like a hotel. I'm not telling you jack shit. You guys got to figure it out on your own, bitches.
Or just wait and find out.
Because, we have an episode coming out in how many days? 1, 2, 3. No, 1. 1 day. You have to wait 48 hours, essentially, because this is coming out September 29th. And the next episode is episode 100 on October 1st. So.
Do we drop it then? I don't remember.
We do. I drop it then. I drop it on the 1st and say what we're doing. But not entirely. So there will be 13 episodes because we are going to be celebrating the 13 days of Halloween.
And we will be exhausted.
Yes, we will. So we're going to be shooting them as often as we can, recording as much as we can. So that way they will be prepped and ready for your enjoyment come October 1st. And also, we're updating the website with all of the links. So if you haven't seen it, I'll put a little screenshot in the middle.
Go check it out.
All of the links and all of the descriptions for every episode for season 1 is in there. And every episode that we have on YouTube, all of the pictures have links. So if you're like, why is there so many links after episode 80? Well, that's why.
Surprise!
All right. That being said, it is late for you. You need to go to sleep.
Yes, it is. Yes, I do.
I need to get started with my day because it is late for me. We're recording on an off day. This is normally not the day we record. But again, as I said, yesterday I was sick. Yesterday she didn't have the spoons. So.
And I needed all the spoons for this.
Yeah, we definitely did. As always.
Do the stupidest of shit.
Please don't.
Stay feral.
Bite the hand.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
That's all for this episode. Stay feral, and we'll see you party possums next time.